Hello and welcome to a special interview for The Wire. The Assam Chief Minister has called the Bengali-speaking Muslims of Assam Miya, a pejorative term in that state. He says, "We are against Miyas and I encourage everyone to give trouble to Miyas." He says he's ordered BJP workers to file complaints against the Miyas so they are struck off the electoral rolls. In his defense, he says Bengali speaking Muslims call themselves Miya, and second, he's only using language used by the Supreme Court. Does his defense hold water, or has he violated the Constitution and should we demand his resignation? And why is the Prime Minister silent? Those are the key issues I shall raise today with one of India's most highly regarded former Supreme Court judges and chairman of the United Nations Internal Justice Council, Justice Madan Lukur. Justice Lukur, let me start with what the Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sharma, said about Bengali-speaking Muslims on the 27th of January. "Trouble the Miya Muslims by any means," he said. "We directly say that we are against Miyas. Now I encourage everyone to give trouble to Miyas." And he's also said Himanta Biswa Sharma and the BJP are directly against Miyas. How do you view these comments?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. Uh, but if you look at the entire statement in its context, it's not only this, but several other things that he has said. I think it's really despicable, and clearly it is hate speech, and action should be taken against him. And I believe Harsh Bandar has filed a complaint against him for hate speech. There has also been a statement issued by Justice Govind Mathur, former Chief Justice, to say that action should be taken against him and he should be asked to resign. So really, there is no way that what the Chief Minister has said can be supported, and action must be taken.
You use the word despicable. That is strong
Yes.
language. You believe this is truly despicable.
Yes. I mean, you can't talk about anybody like this. For example, he has said that if a rickshaw wala or somebody asks you for rupees 5, give him rupees 4. Now, is that the way you treat the people of your own country or persons who are living in your country and who are
I
working
want
to
to
make a
quote for
living?
the audience that particular bit of his speech because I think it's a telling example of how he's illustrating to people in Assam how they should trouble Bengali speaking Muslims. He says, "Whoever can give trouble to Miyas in any way should give it. In a rickshaw, if the fare is rupees 5, give them rupees 4. Only if they face trouble will they leave Assam." That's not just hate speech. Would you accept, Justice Lakur? That is a form of incitement.
Oh, yes, it is. Yeah, it is incitement. And it's not only incitement, but it can create a huge public order issue. Definitely disharmony, definitely incitement. Telling people that, listen, if you're asked for 5 rupees, you give 4. I mean, what sense does it make? Here is a person wanting to make a living, a rickshaw puller or a rickshaw driver, and you say that I'm not going to give you the amount of money you deserve. I mean, frankly, I don't think that's the way to treat anybody.
The truth of the matter is that a chief minister is elected and sworn into office to defend the constitution, to ensure and protect law and order, and to protect the rights and liberties of the citizens of the country. Mr. Sharma is doing exactly the opposite. He is provoking a law and order situation by telling people not to pay the legitimate fare.
Yes, he is. I mean, there's no doubt about it, Karan. And like I said, there are so many other things that he has said. First of all, using a pejorative term against Bengali-speaking Muslims. This is not this is certainly not permissible. particularly for a chief minister. I mean, it's not permissible for anybody, but more so for the chief minister of a state.
The chief minister has also admitted that he has asked BJP supporters to file complaints against Bengali speaking Muslims so they are struck off the electoral register. He said, and I'm quoting him, whatever complaints were filed, they were filed on my orders. I am the one who told BJP people to keep filing complaints against the Miyas. I told everyone pour in as many Form 7s as possible wherever you can. And he's also said that 4 or 5 lakh Bengali speaking Muslims should be removed from the electoral rolls. Doesn't it seem as if he's asking people to file frivolous, perhaps even false complaints just to eliminate Bengali speaking Muslims from the electoral rolls?
Yes, yes. You see, one is to eliminate them from the electoral rolls, but the other is to harass them. I mean, why would you file a complaint if there is no substance in the complaint? Just because you've been told to file a complaint, all right, you file a complaint, and then somebody takes notice of it and starts harassing the person because of a false complaint. Now, this is not the way you govern anything. I mean, any body, whether it's a state or whether it's a district or whether it's a municipality, you're not there to harass people by filing false complaints. If there is some substance in the complaints, fine. I mean, the election commission can look into it even without a complaint, and which they're doing in any case. So really, targeting Bengali speaking Muslims, and like I said, if you look at the entire statement in its context, it's despicable, if not venomous.
Tell me, is this not another breach of the law to provoke and incite people to file false, frivolous complaints targeting a particular community?
Yes, it is. It is. And if I remember correctly, I think Section 196 of the new, Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita (BNS) is clearly violated, because it's not only incitement, but it can create a public order situation, not only a law and order situation, but a public order situation. It will definitely, and I have no doubt that it will be causing disharmony in society. These are criminal offenses. Hate speech, by the way, is a criminal offense, and the Supreme Court has said some time back that action should be taken in respect of hate speech.
In fact,
So
if
this
I
is
recall correctly, the Supreme Court said that the police should act on their own without waiting to be
right.
FIR to be filed.
Right, you're absolutely right. So this is hate speech. Okay, so the police should act. But all right, the police have not acted, but there are complaints. Look into it. I mean, you can't
Harsh
say
Mandir,
that.
as you said in your first answer, has filed a FIR. It has been registered, I believe, at the Horse police station in Delhi. Surely
Yes,
it is now incumbent on the police to act.
yes, it is. And elsewhere also, I mean, even in Assam, the police should take cognizance of it on their own.
The police should have taken cognizance of this on their own in Assam.
Yes, they should. Because that's in compliance with the directions of the Supreme Court of India.
I'll just point
So,
out that they've taken no action whatsoever, as far as I know.
yeah, it's tragic. That's all I can say.
Let me at this point come to the defense the Chief Minister has made, both of the language he's used as well as the terms that he's used in that speech. He's made 2 defenses as far as I can tell. First, he said on NDTV that Bengali speaking Muslims themselves call themselves Miyas, and therefore it's not an insult to use that term. How do you respond to that particular defense, that this is a word Bengali speaking Muslims use for themselves?
I don't know, frankly, how accurate this is, but you see, the context is important. You might call yourself a Miya, or Bengali Muslims may call themselves Miya, but it may not be in a pejorative manner. All right. So, if you use it in a pejorative manner, which it has been done in this case by the Chief Minister, the context is completely different and the meaning is completely different. I know that at one point of time, judicial activism was being used pejoratively, right? But there are great jurists, including a former judge of the High Court of Australia, who said it's not a pejorative term. So using Miya is not necessarily a pejorative term, except in the context in which it is used. And
And the context is the all-determining condition.
yes, yes, and it has been used in this context in a pejorative manner by the Chief Minister.
Let me point out, Justice Rukur, that in the 60s and 70s, black people in America would call themselves niggers as a sort of mocking self-parody. But that surely didn't give the rest of us license to use the same word. It's
Yeah,
one
yeah,
thing when they use it themselves, it's quite another when others use it pejoratively against them.
yes, yes. This is an excellent example that you've given. And now, I mean, not now in the sense of today or yesterday, but in the recent past, there has been a lot of talk about politically correct speech or politically incorrect speech. So, I mean, this kind of language that is being used is clearly, I mean, apart from the fact that it is hate speech, it is clearly politically incorrect.
Let me come to the second defense the Chief Minister has made. He claims that the language he used is not his own, but that of the Supreme Court. He says that the 2005 Sarbananda Sonowal judgment that delivered by the Supreme Court uses this language, and therefore it's not objectionable if he repeats it.
Yeah, but that's not correct. You know, Um the expression used is demographic invasion, right? That's probably what he had in mind. Now, the Supreme Court was quoting. It's not the words of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court was quoting a report from the governor of the state given in November 1998. The governor gave a report, perhaps, inviting precedence rule, I don't know. But he gave a report in November 1998 where he used this expression. Demographic pattern was also used. And in fact, in the law also, demographic pattern has been used, statement of objects and reasons. So to say that the Supreme Court said this is not correct. The Supreme Court, it's not the words of the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court is quoting the governor.
Let me, in fact, for the sake of the audience, give you the full quotation from the governor. The governor
Yeah.
at the time was Lieutenant General Sinha. He was governor of Assam, and the Supreme Court in the 2005 Sarbananda Sonowal judgment quoted from his report, and here is the quotation. The silent and invidious demographic invasion of Assam may result in the loss of the geostrategically vital districts of Lower Assam. And then the governor says the influx of illegal immigrants is turning these districts into a Muslim majority region. The phrase, you're absolutely right, was demographic invasion, but at no point did either the governor or the Supreme Court use the word Miya. And the word that the chief minister was repeatedly using, not once, but multiple times, was Miya. And the
Yeah.
word that he's justifying when he spoke on NDTV was the use of the word Miya. That
Yeah.
you cannot attribute to the Supreme Court under any circumstances.
No, 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 no. He is wrongly attributing it to the Supreme Court. I think we have to be clear about this. The Supreme Court did not use the expression Miya. The Supreme Court did not, of its own, use the expression demographic invasion. So to say that, well, it's nothing wrong that I've done because the Supreme Court said it, is totally wrong, factually incorrect.
Let me ask you a question based upon the rights conferred by the Constitution on every Indian citizen. Under India's Constitution, Article 14 guarantees equality before the law. Article 15 prohibits discrimination on the grounds of religion. And Article 21 protects the dignity of every individual. Isn't Chief Minister Sharma guilty of violating all three articles?
Yes, yes, yes. Undoubtedly. I mean, you have to see the statements made by him in their context. You know, clearly, he is discriminating against a particular section of people in his own state, right? That discrimination clearly is violative of Article 14 of the Constitution. He is using religion to make that discrimination violative of Article 15 of the Constitution. And when you talk about something like fraternity, right, that's a part of the preamble of the Constitution of India. So what kind of fraternity are you talking about when you say that these people should be driven out of the state or harass them? Is that fraternity?
And that becomes a violation of Article 21, doesn't it?
Yeah, it becomes a violation of Article 21. It becomes it goes against the grain of the preamble to the Constitution. What more do you want? In terms of the statement.
Let me, Justice Rapoor, pick up on something you mentioned at the start of this interview. Calling Mr. Sharma's speech highly condemnable and outrageous, Justice Govind Mathur, the former Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court, has demanded Chief Minister Sharma's resignation. Now, you have served yourself earlier, before you joined the Supreme Court, as Chief Justice of the Guwahati High Court. That is a High Court located in Assam, in the capital of Assam. Would you therefore endorse and repeat that demand that the Chief Minister should resign?
Yes. I think I said it in the beginning. I completely endorse what Justice Govind Mathur said. You can't have the Chief Minister of a state dividing the people of his own state, right? You are supposed to function under the provisions of the Constitution. You are supposed to take the entire state along. You can't say that, listen, I'm not bothered about one section of people. In fact, they should not leave. They should not be in the state, but they should leave. The Chief Minister cannot say that. And I think if he believes what he says, and I have no reason to feel that he does not believe what he says, I think he should resign, or he should be called upon to resign.
The important thing is that clearly what the Chief Minister of Assam has said is unconstitutional, it's unacceptable, and yet there is total silence from the Prime Minister of the country, who is the acknowledged and unchallenged leader of the Chief Minister's party. There is total silence from the President of the BJP. How do you view that silence?
Well, I can't say anything for or on behalf of the Prime Minister, nor can I say anything on behalf of the leader of the political party. It's for them to decide what to do.
But should they have spoken out? Did this occasion demand that they distance themselves from what their colleague, a chief
Yes.
minister of their own party, has said?
Yes, I believe they should have spoken out. You see, if you go back in time, there was a criticism of Colonel Sophia Qureshi, who was the spokesperson during Operation Sindoor. Things were said against her by a minister of the state government. And there was no criticism about what the minister had said. The only thing that happened was that a judge of the Madhya Pradesh High Court, who took action due to the inaction of the others, that judge was transferred from Madhya Pradesh High Court to Allahabad High Court. So really, I think at that point of time, something should have been said. At this point of time, also, I think something should have been said.
The distressing thing is we have two instances, Colonel Sophia Qureshi and now the Miya treatment by the Chief Minister of Assam, where the BJP as a party, the Prime Minister as the head of the party, the President of the party, no one has spoken out. No one has spoken out at all. We have two instances of this at least, maybe many more.
Yeah, maybe many more. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe many more.
This is distressing in a democracy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is distressing, you know. I mean,
Finally,
sorry, we can't let this situation, drift. It has been drifting. We can't let it drift, or we should not let it drift.
in which case, let me end by asking you, if the Chief Minister's political bosses are silent and not prepared to admonish or even to correct him and distance themselves from him, how do you believe society as a whole should respond to what the Assam Chief Minister has said?
Well, I think society as a whole, should speak up, and say that what's going on, and whatever is going on, why is it going on? It's not only the people of Assam who should, speak up, but everywhere else. Otherwise, like it happened in the case of Colonel Sophia Qureshi, it has happened now in this case. A third instance may happen, and a fourth instance may happen. And, if everybody just keeps silent all the time, then it just, keeps going on and on and on. And there's no end, and there will be no end to it.
This reminds me of that line, ask not for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. This
Yes.
bell is tolling for everyone in the country. We must speak out.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. This sort of thing has to stop. At some point, it has to stop.
And we, the people of India, must make it stop by speaking out.
That's right. That's right.
Justice Nukul, I thank you for the time you've given me. I thank you for your analysis, understanding, and comments on the Chief Minister of Assam. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Karan Thapar. Over the last few years, I hope you've been watching my program, The Interview on the Wire. During that period, I've interviewed doctors, politicians, businessmen, scientists, authors, and even the occasional Nobel laureate. For me, it's been exciting. I hope it's been enjoyable for you. But these, as you know, are tough times, and if this program is going to remain bold, independent, and sometimes even defiant, then I think we need your support. At the end of the day, it's a truism, but editorial independence is best defended by the viewers. So if you would like this program to remain the way it is, forthright, outspoken, and interesting, then would you consider supporting us? All you have to do is to click on the description at the bottom. But more than anything else, I hope you will continue to watch The Interview. Your viewership means an awful lot to me.